Please click the subscribe button down below to get more of my videos. I've been very critical of Keir Starmer because his actions, in my view, have been clearly centrist and Blairite to the right of the party. You know, his supporting of the coup against Corbyn in 2016, support for Owen Smith, who was an ex-pharmaceutical lobbyist, some of his votes abstaining on the welfare bill, his political donors and the strategists and advisors around him are of the Blairite wing, as I've mentioned in all the other videos that I've produced on Keir Starmer. Now, I don't like a pile-on, but ultimately he's the leader of the Labour Party. He has one of the most important jobs in Britain in holding the government to account, because of course politics affects everything whether you like it or not. And so it is fair criticism to bring all these points up and to try and hold his feet to the flames and make him more left-wing, make his actions more socialist, because that's what we want. But there's a few things I want to talk about in this video. But now he's actually in the role, we're seeing evidence, again, in quite major ways, that he is bringing the party further to the right. The first is that his handling of the Labour leaks scandal is a disgrace. He should have suspended, the Labour Party should have suspended all individuals implicated in severe wrongdoing in these reports. They should be suspended pending the outcome of the investigation. As far as I'm aware, he hasn't done that. Secondly, in his response, he's implicated the whistleblowers as morally on the same realm as the perpetrators in the leaked document. That is completely immoral, when the whistleblowers have provided essentially a public service, in that, just like Julian Assange, etc., in that they're exposing wrongdoing. So of course, in a fair society, that should be protected. I have no faith in British law in regards to this matter, and so if it is true that it turns out that the whistleblower is convicted and he receives punishment, then we need to, of course, fight for his release, and we need to change the law so that they are protected in instances like this, and in many other ways, such as quietly changing the position of the Labour Party's policy on rent suspensions during this pandemic. So under Jeremy Corbyn and John McDonnell, the position was Labour supported a rent suspension for 3 months whilst we have this lockdown. That would mean that the rent would not accrue during that time and would not be liable at the end of the suspension. But instead, Mr. Starmer has changed it last week to being a policy of deferral, meaning the rent would still accrue and be liable at the end of the lockdown, essentially. Now, at the end of the deferred period. Now, that is a much more anti-socialist position, because it would mean many workers that have significantly reduced income would have to find thousands of pounds, potentially, in these deferred rent payments when they've had significantly reduced incomes on universal credit and so forth. It would, of course, with the rent in Britain being so expensive, in many parts of the country down south it is utterly ridiculous in relation to what people earn. It can nearly take up half of what people's income is. So it is very enlightening that his position has changed to one of deferral, not suspension. It's a more Blairite policy.